Hello and welcome to the Quebber channel. I'm Jason, all of you people out there who are having issues, who are in LA, who are protesting against Israel, who are involved with the tragedies of Gaza. All of these things, in fact, no matter where you are in the world, you need to listen up. Because we are at the point of an existential threat now. Doesn't matter how much you don't like Israel. Iran has been a major danger for the years. They're the ones that backed the Hamas, they backed the Houthis, Bipolar, proxy attacks on, because they have always stated every time Hamas has been done with this. All of these things that Iran has done is because they want to commit genocide against Israel. And no, don't you fucking dare say it back. Yay, no, listen to me. Because this is gonna hurt you. The way you don't understand. The only government in the entire fucking world that pretty much everyone in the world has been trying to stop get nuclear weapons is Iran. This isn't because we don't like them. This isn't because they're a hated people. It's simply because whereas everybody else, even North Korea, even Putin, they may saber rattle, but during the entire Ukrainian conflict, they haven't fired off one nuke. They still have a modicum of sensibility. They haven't taken that step. They use their nukes as a bullywood, a threat. But they don't actually want to fire that first shot, because if they do, they know that everybody else will fire theirs at them or destroy them completely. There's no way out for them if they do it. And they're sensible enough. Even fucking Kim Jong-un, fucking in North Korea, knows that if he pushes it too far, a little bit more, then he'll get smacked down. Now let's look at Iran. Iran, who publicly has stated for many, many years that it wants to commit genocide, that it is a holy war, that Israel is a anathema to them, the fact that it's on religious ground, that it's in that area, that it shouldn't be there. And we can go back in the past and blame whoever we fucking want. We are now at DEFCON fucking what? We are bad, in a bad situation. We are at oh shit. Why? For two reasons. Over the past few years, no matter how much sanctions, no matter how many times we've tried to stop them, Iran's nuclear facilities and ability to make nuclear weapons has been increasing. And pretty much all of the Western intelligence and the Nuclear Commission and everybody believes that they've got enough fissile material. They've created enough weapons grade material for 9 nuclear missiles. It's the stage we're at the moment. Now, what they believe is it will take months to 18 months, between now and 18 months, for them to create a viable delivery system. That's the only thing fucking holding them back. You've got to understand that in this situation, if we don't stand with Iran, the world is absolutely fucked. The tragedies in Gaza, imagine that worldwide. Imagine a country that hates the West so much that they don't mind if they get blown out of the sky. That it's a holy war that will be, that if they fire off their nuclear missiles and manage to do enough damage to the planet, they don't care if everybody launches missiles at them. They don't care if they get destroyed. They'll be going to heaven because they've used righteous fire. They used heaven's wrath on enemies. Israel had no choice. The sad fact is that there are so many nuclear sites in Iran, and they're so focused towards having nuclear weapons now. For many years they've used proxies, they've used Hamas, they've used Hezbollah to fight, to attack. They've financed Houthis, they've financed everybody to attack Israel in any way they could. And now all those have been dismantled pretty much. The only card they've got to play is the nuclear. This is the problem. You've got to understand, wherever you fucking are in the world, that if Iran gets a viable way to deliver a nuclear weapon, even if it's a fucking just driving a fucking truck down to an Israel checkpoint, they'll do it. That's the difference. Every other country in the world, their leadership will threaten, use nuclear weapons if it comes to it, but they don't want to take that final step because they know the consequences. But this doesn't affect the Iranian leadership. The Iranian leadership actively want to have a holy war. They actively want to totally genocide the Israeli people. And I don't care how safe you feel in America or the UK or Europe when you stand outside and shout at your disgust at Israel. If Iran manages to do this and take care of Israel, nuke them off the place of the area, and totally destroy the area with the radiation and everything, then you're next. You think they'll just stop at that point? If they're allowed to exist? I tell you what, most countries in the world will band together and pretty much fucking take them down and erase them from existence. Which is another tragedy because the average everyday Iranian isn't in on these decisions. This is worse than the Cuban Missile Crisis. This is worse than any world war had. If Iran finishes off nuclear weapons, we are fucked. Seriously. They could spark global conflagration. Why? Because if Iran launches a nuclear attack on Israel, then America, the UK and Europe is going to come in and support Israel. Then you've got the people all the Muslims on the other side, the extremists, the other governments, who will side with Iran, and things will just go from bad to worse. And we will have a war that will make all of your complaints about being offended, about, well, let's just say, will be. I'm hoping it doesn't come to that. The problem here is that the Iranian leadership can't just do a saving face maneuver now. It's actually got to properly attack. And you know what a big problem is? Those missiles that they launch over into Israel. There's, well, let's check a scenario. The Iron Dome can stop a certain amount of missiles. It's not infinite. So you exhaust the Iron Dome by launching every single fucking traditional missile you've got. Waste all the Iron Dome's ammunition. And when it's totally spent, because they can't keep you up for long, then you send over a scattered missiles. And you know what? You know what one of the funny things is? You can't really tell it's a nuclear missile landing. So yeah. Or maybe, like I said, you'll just create a dirty bomb. A massive, massive dirty bomb. Ride it in on a Toyota truck to one of the Gaza, or they'll take it through Palestine and straight into the border there. It isn't North Korea, it isn't the Ukrainian conflict, it isn't even the Indian and the Chinese going at it. That is the true danger. The reason that nearly every country in the world has been trying to stop Iran getting nuclear weapons because it will. Nearly everybody else has got these policies in place that they only use them as a defensive measure, that the other side has to fire first, all these little things that they've got in place, and so that even though you've got mutualistic assured destruction, the MAD protocols and that, you've actually got a bit of sense and rational fucking now. When you've got a religious extreme that honestly believes in the use of nuclear weapons, holy fire, burn away. That every single fucking should be, or more to the point, should be existential fucking dread. The danger is, as well, is because there's so much hatred against Israel, they won't have the support. They won't be able to stop this. We could very much be in the end of days, or the beginning of a new world war. Because the problems here is that if America commits to Israel and sends all its resources over there to help take out Iran, then that's the perfect time for China to run. Perfect time for other hostile actors to take a play. Anything you want to do while people are distracted by what's going on, that'd be the time. This could have a steamroll effect and fuck everything. I wish it wasn't as bad as it looks, but I think every diplomatic person, everybody who's involved with the civil service in a different and will be having a moment and making sure their session of government plans and everything to date, and that they know where the closest bunkers are. This is not good. The problem is that most politicians are cowards. Iran has needed to be taken care of, as in dealt with, for many years. They have been doing this proxy war against the West and against Israel for years. And while we've dealt with the symptoms, we haven't cut out the cancer. And so we've allowed them to start their nuclear problems. We've allowed the diplomats to try sort things out. We've allowed the politicians to talk. Sad thing is, those missile attacks last night, even though they'll do some damage and cause some martyrs and that, Iran has been expecting it for a long time and has a lot of distributed technology set up for this. Nuclear missiles are their holy grail, basically. Oh boy. With all the other shit stuff going on, knowing that we have something like this hanging over us now, that's a fun thing. Bye bye for now.